So something else that has come up on questions to me around the idea of living with love, not fear, is what it means to think about love, not fear in relation to the environment. I grew up in a city. I grew up in Hong Kong, which was hugely exciting and fast-paced and glamorous place to grow up. But you know, city living isn't always conducive to a great affinity with nature. And even as a child, I didn't even know the names of flowers and plants. So that when I first started living in the countryside, it was all a complete novelty and very, very new to me. Even now, I live on the outskirts of a big European city in the countryside, and although I love it, it has sometimes taken a huge amount of adjustment to living with a very different pace of life. But what I have absolutely loved about doing this is what it has done to actually put me much more in touch with nature and to better appreciate and understand the different cycles of life. In recent weeks, with the pandemic taking hold, many of us have experienced food shortages when we go to do our supermarket shopping. And I think this has brought home even closer the importance of building self-sufficiency. We're all aware of the huge issues climate change is posing in our lives right now, and not to take for granted our food supply chain and the use of resources in the planet that enables people to continue to live sustainably without taking too much for themselves at the expense of others. We've started growing vegetables in our garden, something we've actually been doing for the last couple of years. And certainly, you know, we've also made some of those choices around buying more organic food because we felt that that was an important contribution we could make to the planet. There are so many ways that we can each do our bit, whatever choices you make. But for sure, even though I you know, again, grew up in a very sort of different environment to the country, I feel that living with love, not fear is definitely about that larger respect for our planet. This opportunity is really inviting us to consider the busyness of the lives that we live, rushing from one place to another, taking aeroplanes like they're buses, which obviously is not good for our planet. And I think the current situation really is encouraging us to think about what it means to live at a different pace, to live in the moment more, to appreciate nature when the one thing you're allowed to do is to go for a walk outside one time a day. Suddenly people are really valuing that in a way that they might not have appreciated it before. And so for me, you know, learning to live with love, not fear at the moment is also about really appreciating that nature, being grounded and thinking about our resources and how we, you know, don't take them for granted or really value them, and perhaps giving some thought to the longer term issues of what we can do to live more sustainably. So we'd love to have your comments. How are you thinking about love, not fear in relationship to the environment? How has the current situation helped you reframe your understanding of sustainable practices in what you eat or how you travel or how you live more broadly? And don't forget to subscribe, sign up to our newsletter, and keep living with love, not fear.